Hello. Are we live? Doesn't seem like we're live. It's starting. Hello. Are we live or not? Seems like we are. Cool. Alright. Alrighty. It seems like we're live, right? Okay. Alright, so today it's a weird day. Because I'm not sure of any topics for today. So, if there's anyone here already, please say hi and suggest stuff, because I have nothing to do today actually. So let me see who's here already. Hey, Sean, MSEC, and Omar. Rodriguez from Bolivia. Hey, Omar. It's cool, Bolivia. Hello, Dennis. How are you guys? How are you all? So I was going through my ideas and I couldn't decide on what to do today. I've been thinking about this from the last 2 days and I'm not sure what to do. So I was not going to stream today, and I was like, I should actually just stream. You guys are listening to me, right? Yeah, microphone's on. I thought my microphone was muted. Hey, Felipe. Hello from Mexico. Cool. People from Spain. Awesome. Bolivia, Spain, and all over the world. Cool. So yeah, I was going to skip today, but then I said, no, I should actually do something today and talk to you guys, because this is a common thing. It's not uncommon that sometimes you are out of ideas, and where do you get those ideas from? And what do you do when nothing it's coming to you and stuff like that? So I think it's important to talk about this and not avoid it. Which is it's good. It's good, I guess. Hey, create the unimaginable. Well, the topic for today is basically not set in stone, so you guys can ask any questions, but we're gonna talk about a little bit about what to do when you don't feel when you don't have any ideas or stuff like that, when you're feeling like you are like some people say a writer's block, or let's say VFX block, or whatever blocking stuff that you got. Let me clean up my glasses, super dirty. Alright. So yeah, I was it's been like a few days that I've been like out of kind of like out of ideas. Hey, Miss Rob, who is it? How are you? So Omar says, what we're talking about terrain bobs. Well, terrain bobs are basically just being overtaken by the new hide tool. So there's no reason for you to do terrains in bobs. You should just use the new terrain tools. So yeah, so let me get to this point. I was just here, and it's been a few days, and I've been working a lot. I've been working so much, and thankfully, I'm thankful that I have a lot of work. So I have a bunch of clients, and I was sometimes like this weekend. I just took the weekend off and just rested because it's been like a few weekends that I've been working continuously. So I just took this weekend off, practiced guitar, got out of the studio and stuff like that. Did stuff with my family and stuff. So regularly on Sundays I do these Monday tricks, and this Sunday I didn't feel like doing one. And it was like I don't know what to do with this thing, uh, and and I didn't do a video. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do a video this Monday. It's cool. And yesterday actually, it was like I don't even know what to talk about this Wednesday, which is today, and just a few minutes before I started this webinar, I was like, I think I'm not gonna do anything today. I'm gonna skip it. But then I said, no, I had to do this, and maybe other people feel this way sometimes. Like, I'm out of ideas. I don't know what to do. Well, what do I do now? What's next? Stuff like that. So I wanted to talk to you guys. If you ever feel like this, it's for me it's common. I'm most of the time I'm presented with jobs that require me to create everything. Like I get storyboards or actually ideas to storyboard a lot, make ideas from scratch, and sometimes it's hard to get these ideas, and sometimes it's really a painful job and lonely job, at least for me. And today again I was struggling to find a topic, but I guess this is a nice topic because it's something that we creative people encounter a lot. Because sometimes you get a client and they say, can you please do this for me? And you are like, oh, okay, I have no idea how to do that. Or I have no idea what to do with this shoe or this logo or this project you just brought me. So what do? I generally, what I do generally is, I think the first thing I do is go to Vimeo. I don't know why, but Vimeo is full of freaking cool stuff. So I just go to Vimeo and I start looking at stuff. So like this is just giving me ideas already. So this is, of course, is cool. A lot of points. And just scrolling this page gives me ideas. A lot of ideas all the time. So I'd suggest that you just start doing something like this. Other people go to Behance or stuff like that, or Motionographer. I think is that still a thing? I guess. And then you get ideas from that, and then you get inspired, and then do something, or get at least an idea of what you're gonna try to do and stuff. So like this is really cool. I like how the fog it's being lit by this. And that's an idea. Again, this is already been done by Intacma, so whatever. I'm not gonna repeat that. This is a nice idea. This will be cool to redo in Houdini, like this M here. Oh, you're seeing on my freaking face. Now let's go back. So I'm just talking about this Vimeo stream that I got. And this is the thing that I always go for first. Let's see if things get a little bit bigger. So yeah, basically I just go and scroll for this and see what I'm something that might give me an idea, and it does give me ideas most of the time. So let me just show that. And like this is cool, like how it looks. This is amazing, but I think that will be possible to do in Houdini. It's too much geometry. Like I was saying about this, that it gives me a nice idea about making fog and how it's lit by these lights. This has already been done. This is a nice effect. like this is the one I was talking about, that it would be nice to redo this in Houdini and make it like have any letter you want here, even an image or something like that, because I kind of see this is, it's kind of in like just triangle-ish shapes. It's not, but it's a little bit more complex than that, but you might be able to do that in Houdini, and gives you an idea. Again, there's a lot of stuff that people post here, and it starts giving you ideas and stuff like that, which is really cool. This looks really nice. Looks like gummy bears, which is nice. So let's see what you guys are saying. USD, create the unimaginable says they want to learn more about OpenUSD. I have no idea about OpenUSD because there's no Houdini thingy. There's been talk about the Pixar guys releasing the stuff they've done for Houdini. They haven't released that as far as I know. So, and OpenUSD is not something that I will actually use, because most of the time I'm working by myself. When I work with studios, they already have their pipeline, so it is cool and stuff, but it's not that interesting for me, I guess. OpenUSD. Talking about Bex versus Python versus AScript, though that is actually nonsense because Bex is not against Python or AScript or the other way around. It's the three languages do different things. So Python can do all the stuff Bex does. Bex can't do all the stuff Python does. And AScript has another set of uses. So they are not like going against each other. They're just going like, there are different tools for different jobs. So you should be learning all three. So if you want to, you should be learning Bex and Python and AScript. And I don't mean everything about them. Just learn whatever you are using for a project, or what you need for for getting stuff done, and then move on. Advanced crumpling effects. Again, keyword there, advanced. Advanced means it takes a lot of time, because nothing that is advanced is gonna be simple ever. And crumpling, it's again something that it's super complex stuff. Getting some buttons to liquid, then hard again. Yeah, man, it's fun to think about that or do, but that stuff it's just so hard to do. MSEC says how to come up with references for things that cannot be found in the world. Oh, that's a good thing actually. When you're trying to create like something new, I don't know what this word means, so I just Google this. Maziness. I don't know what that word means. So what do you mean, Sahak? Yeah, getting references for things that doesn't exist. You should just abstract the idea and then try to relate it to something. Like, let's say if it's a dinosaur, let's relate it to something that does exist, like a huge elephant, or one of those huge lizards. How are they called? Komodo dragons, or crocodiles, or turtles. So trying to relate stuff that doesn't exist in the world to something that exists makes it actually more believable and grounded. So if it doesn't exist, maybe try to abstract the idea, make it look cool and stuff, but also try to relate it to something that exists. Because if this doesn't exist, and it's not something that you can relate to, the viewer is gonna be like, I don't understand that. It's gonna be like, I don't get it. Implosions. That's a cool thing. Implosions. Huh. Never done an implosion. Done a ton of explosions. None of implosions. Yeah, implosion is a nice subject actually. I should take notes. Let me take notes. Sublime text. Right? Implosions. That's a good subject. Cool. Plants modeling and growth. I guess what people think about plants and Houdini, they are always thinking about making stuff grow. And that is actually not that hard to do, actually. Let's close that thing and open Houdini. So, yeah, growing stuff, it's just a matter of animating a few things. But if you're going to do a more complex thing, then you just have to do it a lot more times. But if you just break apart a plant, it's basically just a series of lines, basically. So again, we're talking basically. So let's say that you have any plant. If you haven't used, let's open a geometry node. If you want to make something grow, let's say a line. Let's create a line. There are different ways to do everything as always, but let's say that this will be stem. If you want to make it grow, again, curves are amazing for this kind of stuff. You should be using curves a lot. Then the amazing carve tool. Everybody seeing my screen? Yeah, right. Let me change the topic to and if I can spell, it will be cool. All right, so the carve tool, it's pretty amazing because you can just cut any curve. Let's hide the origin nomen for now. You can see it's already cutting this like this, but if you just activate the second one, you can just make it go in any direction. So after this, you can create something like a poly wire to give it thickness, and let's give it, let's say 6, and now it has thickness. You can also add parameters to control the scale of this, of course. So if this would be like a branch, you can just let's try to add something like, it has like 2 points right now, so we need more points than this. Let's say 50. Now let's add an attribute to this. Attribute create. We make it a little bit more branchy, and let's say put a jitter. Let's put a point jitter. I'm just trying to pseudo model some branch here, so it's just gonna be like, you should have your own kind of branch, right? I'm just trying to make something here just to show you. Let's say that that's a freaking branch, and now let's resample that to have more points. Get in there. So now we have a bunch of points in this branch. Now let's add an attribute. Let's call it grow. Or thickness, because it's gonna be thickness actually. Thickness. And let's call it a tick, just to thickness, whatever. I'm gonna base this on the number of points. Here we have 21. If if I base this on the number of points just by doing this .pt, the value is gonna just be that, right? The thickness is gonna start at 0 because it's 0.0, and then 21 because it's 0.21. But if I just, the one thing is that I wanted to start at the maximum here and the minimum here, so it's actually flipped around. So let's fit this from the number, from the NPT. There's a few ways we can do this. This NPT, it's a total number of points. Actually, we want to fit the point between 0 and $NPT. Let's fit this from 1 to 0. I think I need. Okay, let's see what happened. So now I have a thickness value that goes from this value to this. I could make this 0 by subtracting 1 to the $NPT points, because this is gonna give us, because this starts at 0, the number of points. So now we have from 0 to 1. You can use the fit expression. You could just maybe divide this guy, but if you want to have other values here, you can just do it really quickly here. In this case, let's go from 0 to 1. I'll show you what I mean by that. So now if we go to the polywire and said let's use that value that's called thickness. Now we're using that value for the radius, and again, this is what I wanted. Why I did a fit, because the biggest value, it's too big. So now I can go here and say nope, don't do 0, don't do 1, just do 0, 1 maybe. Let's hide that. Now we have something like that, right? And now this, if we animate this curve, it's gonna do the thing that we don't want, because I had to do this curve up here. Okay, so that's why the order of operations matter in Houdini. Like if I do the curve here, now I have this, a branch that it's actually growing. So now you can start doing this for all the other parts of the tree, and you can have a tree that it's growing. This is really simple stuff. Any book recommendations? Book recommendations. That's a hard one because there's no real books for Houdini. So I can't recommend any books for Houdini. Let's see what I got. The Art of Rigging, Maya, Character Animation, Crash Course. No, I have no books for Houdini. So I can't recommend any books. Sorry. L Systems. Damn, it's been a while since I've done L Systems, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, L Systems are cool actually. Wordplay. Sorry. Okay. Ideas about texturing terrain. Well, the terrain generates UVs, right? You can just branch. Let's call this branch. No, I don't need another one. Well, if the terrain generates UVs, just texture it like any other geometry, I guess. I don't know what your issue is with terrain. Height fill. Cause this thing, it's actually a volume to start off. Height fill noise. Again, this is my lame terrain. And my super lane terrain, let's see, should not have any UVs because this is a volume. But if we convert this to polygons, then it just has UVs. Look at that. There's your base on that thing. So if you extract the maps of this, like there's a height fill render thing. Let me see how that's called. Height fill. Where is it? Terrain. Huh. Height fill mask. There is. Ah man, I forget that name all the time. Expand noise. There is height field file. Is it? Yeah. So this height field file, you can export stuff about this terrain. So no, this is not no. That is for importing a file. Man. What is that called? I know there is height field, convert height field. Enroll the stored output. Here's the output. So the output, you can extract different layers of the terrain that you have here, like the height. And if you do that, you can maybe use that to base your textures on. So if you have height and masking and other erosion and all this stuff, if you have that stuff in your and you export these guys to images, you can just maybe texture those in Photoshop or something like that, and then just give them the look you want. Dennis, implosion in Houdini. Vector displacements from a grid. I never used vector displacements. I never had to. So I've used vector displacement just for testing stuff, but I never had to do it in a real project. I guess geometry is not that hard of a thing to have these days, so to use vector displacements, just every damn renders geometry like it's nothing. Negative NPT works. I don't think it does. We can try it, but I don't think it works like you are thinking. Like, let's say if you're referring about this -1, I'm just subtracting 1 to that value. If I do $NPT, it's gonna just give it the number of points. If I do this, it's gonna negate that value here. It's not gonna flip the values like we're doing with the fit expression. So it's not gonna flip the values, it's just gonna negate the value that it's giving you. So that's why I sometimes just do the fit expression and get this. I like to do the fit expression because it gives me an option to just have a range here, instead of just dividing this by the number of points -1. That's something that people do as well, like doing like $PT divided by the total number of points. That kind of gives you the same thing. -1 again. It's just not the same thing. I need to put that in parentheses. Gives you values from 0 to 1, but they are not flipped. So now you have to flip these values, and that's why I just use the fit expression to just get the values flipped in the first pass. If you need to. If you don't need to flip the values, it's cool. The new attribute expression node is a pain. Attribute expression node. Oh, this is basically just the new points up. It's not a big pain actually. it's really simple. Depends on what you want to do. Everything is complex depending on what they want to do. Maya to Unreal Engine can now handle joint skin animation or blend shapes. Can Houdini do more? Houdini can export joint skin animation to Unreal for sure, and blend shapes as well. Yeah. Can Houdini do more? Well, you can use the Houdini engine and do a lot more. A lot more. But yeah, all the I think most of the support that Maya has for exporting stuff to Unreal, it's there in Houdini. Actually, there's a ton more because Maya can export vertex textures animation, which is huge for Houdini users. So Maya can't do that stuff. Actually, no one else can do that as far as I know about Houdini. Texturing by slope, etc. Procedural texturing. Well, yeah. That was what I was showing you here. If you wanna do this stuff, let's say erosion. You have all those channels there that you can use for texture, whatever you want here. Like, I'm not gonna be here and showing you how to do stuff for your specific project, but you can see it just doing the freaking erosion thing. It's just giving you a perfect map to texture stuff. If I just make this, if I run this, I'm gonna get just the basic texture. Like, it's just giving you the template to texture your stuff. Like, just get these colors and texture it. So there you go. You have rivers, you have the land, and you have the green parts or the trees, or even snow here if that's what you need, or rock, exposed rock, or whatever. Then you just have to just use your other techniques to use this into a shader and maybe just shader yourself. I could go do that, but it's not, like I said again, it's not simple stuff. Like, you have to get this to a shader, whatever. I'm not even sure if you can get this stuff from here. You will need to just bake this into geometry and then bake those passes to maps, and then you are gonna have to do that. You are not gonna be able to texture these things directly, I think. Again, I could be wrong because I haven't been playing a lot with the new terrain stuff, but it might be able to texture this directly. I don't think so, but you could. But yeah, once you have this stuff and you have all these layers of stuff, you can just use them as masks and texture it however you want. Houdini doesn't generate the textures by itself. Now you need to export stuff with this output node. With this output node, you just export whatever things you want. You can see now that the erosion created the bedrock, the flow direction, the water, the debris area, the height, etc. So it creates as much information. You can render as much information as you are calculating here. So I wasn't calculating the erosion and all the stuff before, so that wasn't available. But now you can just export it once you have that stuff. And you can even animate this, because you can see this thing, it's beautiful, it's animatable, it's really cool. So all these colors you have here, you can export in different layers. You can see all the layers here. And you can play with this and do a lot of stuff. I haven't had a chance to do this. Been so busy with work and stuff. All right, so any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, so again, when you're stuck with ideas, or maybe even we stuck with a project, just research around, ask around, see if anyone else has any questions or ideas and stuff, and then you can start doing your own ideas from that. Like right now I want to get some ideas to do these videos, and you guys gave me a few ideas, so it's pretty cool. But again, I think the important thing here that I wanted to do is just not to quit on stuff. Like, I was just ready to not do anything today, but I said, nah, I'm gonna do it. Might not have a subject right now, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and then something's gonna happen. And yeah, stuff happened, right? We're here hanging out, which is cool. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, just let me know. And we can go and see that Vimeo page again and maybe start getting some more ideas. I think I closed that. So yeah, this is like a nice thing that we could do. This thing looks cool. Point, cloud, and mirror. Oh, I think Instagram just did something similar to this. But yeah, it's cool to see stuff out there, and maybe even stuff that it's not meant to be maybe done in Houdini or in software like this, and start doing stuff that is similar to what you're looking, or just experimenting, looking around with nodes. Some nodes sometimes just give me ideas, and nodes just are cool like that. Sometimes you just see a node in out of context, like not thinking about doing anything, and gives you ideas about stuff, which is pretty cool. Like these basketballs that are melting and have like the texture applied to them. That's cool. That's cool to do, or to investigate how to do. I personally, I like these 2D ideas because it gets you totally out of your comfort zone, and it's cool. I like 2D stuff. This looks pretty cool to model procedurally, maybe in Houdini. This looks a little bit foamy. Looks cool. Like this could be awesome to do in Houdini. I don't know, I like 2D stuff. But it's cool. Attribute expressions. The new loop for each. Attribute expressions. Well, it's Bex, man. If you want to understand the new attribute expressions node, or basically the new point node, just get into Bex stuff, because that's what it is. So yeah, Houdini, it's pushing more towards Bex. Not that I really love that idea, but well, it's okay. So attribute expression, and this is just Bex stuff. So you can see this Bex. So get into Bex and understand what Bex is. But here you're not gonna do really big stuff. Basically, let's say random just randomizes the points from 0 to 1, I guess. If you add a constant, the thing here is that you need to understand that these two values are related. So when this thing is like that, nothing's happening. So basically it's saying whatever it's coming here, just that's what you want to output. It's just yourself. And this value here, you can multiply this value to your initial position. Let's say let's add 0.1, and then we just added that 0.1. Let's put 0.2. We're just adding to that value here. Let's see, I'm adding to that value. Or I could say value, and that refers to this value. So that's about it. Like, now I want to add 1 in the y direction. So this is basically what I'm saying. Just whatever my initial position, just add 1. If I remove self, just gonna put, I don't know what that even is, value. If does it even exist? No, can't do that, I guess. But yeah, it's basically a relationship between these two values, and this is basically Bex. So if you go to the generated code, you see this is Bex. This is what's happening. Taking the position, put it into self, and the channel it's loading into value, and then just adding those values. This is basically a shortcut for Bex. So that's what's happening. And if you study these things, they just make sense. Like, all right, so what's happening here? Just setting all values to whatever value they are, but this one is setting it to 0. It's not using this at all, because again, this thing is called value. If I put this value x here, I guess. No, it's val x. But x, is it? I guess no, because I can't use value here in this thingy. I'm not sure. Never use this thing. But yeah, it's basically kind of a shortcut for Bex here. So that's what's happening. So if you want to understand this, get into Bex. Basically, don't thank me, thank side effects. The new for each loop, I think we could leave that for a separate stream dedicated to that, but I actually explained that already. Don't remember when, but I already did that. But just basically, again, if you haven't programmed ever, it might look weird, but if you've done any program and this is just familiar to you, could be like this brackets here. This is basically these brackets here with a for each word outside there. So whatever it's inside those brackets is what's gonna happen here. I don't know why my brackets are looking like that, but they should be angled. But yeah, this is basically what those two things are, these brackets, and then whatever you do inside, it's gonna just repeat for every point, or for every group, or for every piece, or for every whatever, for each. So it's not that hard to understand. In this case, we don't have here, by default it's trying to get a piece name, we don't have. So let's do something by each primitive. Let's do transform, and then you can say, okay, scale each transform by each primitive by 0.1. But since they are all together, they are just going through the center. But let's say that we want to take the center of each primitive, and I just did something really cool. So look at that. Now I made Roberto scale really cool. So I'm just scaling, I put in the pivot in X, centering the pivot in the X for each primitive, and then scaling to 0.1, 2.5. So you can see what's happening. It's just scaling every primitive individually, and just by doing that, it looks cool. See why. Now I'm doing in both axes now. Let me get this to 0. And looks like that. It looks like a duck. So yeah, I'm just repeating this for each one of those primitives. So that's basically what the for each is. It's just repeat the same function for every primitive or every group or every whatever. Can you show some simple particles from scratch? We already did that, man. See the particles webinar. There's a huge webinar about particles. You can see that it's oh, there's a branch inside Roberto. But I don't know what the mystery is with particles. We already covered that a lot. So if you make a sphere and if you wanna emit particles from that sphere, just grab the sphere and go to the particles tab and source particles, source particle emitter, and hit play and select the geometry. Sorry, hit that thing, select the sphere, hit play, voila, particles. There we go. There we go. Chance, we're not teaching anything specific today. We're just playing with Houdini and talking about ideas and stuff. The new copy stamping thing. Copy stamping haven't changed. What changed is that now you have those new copy nodes, copy to point nodes. But as I said in my, did I say that in a previous tutorial, or where did I say that? Oh yeah, in the scatter tool that we created last week. You can just use the copy stamp tool. Don't need to go for the for loop stuff if you don't want to. So yeah, don't if you don't want to use the copy to points thing, don't use it. Use the copy stamp tool or the old copy workflow. I use that all the time. Copy stamp. Copy stamp haven't changed at all. It's the same stamp tool that it's been used forever in Houdini, but the difference is that this has been optimized a lot in Houdini 16, so it's super fast. Some people said that it's weird, the workflow, but I don't find it weird. I find it totally useful. I don't really like going into the creating a bunch of for loops and attributes and stuff, but anyone is allowed to use whatever method they want, I guess. Can you share some of your titles? We are into mixed training. I'm gonna keep that secret for a while, but I can tell you there's already 3 new mentors doing training for us, plus a few titles that I have on a few training titles I have in queue right now. So yeah, there's a bunch of new training coming your way, but I'm gonna just save it. We are working hard on getting the new site and the new stuff going, so it's really coming really soon. People are working right now in training, a lot of training, new training. It's critical. Jeff Warner said that it's going to be deprecated. Well, it's cool. It's cool that you wanna. I think most people don't even know what the compile blocks are, and most people are not even gonna use it. Maybe people at studios that had really complex tool might use it, but I don't think much people even know what a compile blocks are. And if you don't understand this, then take a look at this. There's another one. So if you want to know how this works, this would go kind of like this, and then you will do stuff with this guy, of course, because it doesn't but it's not to be done like this. There's another set of workflows that you need to do, another set of stuff to copy and to be compatible with this, that is so complex or so intricate or not common, that if you are not going to be using a compile block, then you are not even actually gonna go for that route, because it takes a while to set up this thing, and it does give you a little bit more of a performance, but it depends. If you are making millions, copying millions of trees or geometry or something like that, I would not go for this. I would just make instances. It's a preference. You can go and use this, but there's nothing wrong with using the copy stamp tool. There's nothing wrong. If it's gonna be discontinued or deprecated, why did they just spend a lot of time making it better? Because this thing processes almost the same stuff or as fast as this compile block at a certain level of geometry. But again, if you are going past that threshold of geometry, I'll just go for instances. I don't know why you should be doing this in geometry if you just can go for instances and leave the work to the renderer, which is where it should be, in my opinion. But again, I don't know if side effects really mean it's meant to deprecate this guy, but if they are going to deprecate this, why did they just spend a lot of time making it better? I don't know. Okay, so what do you think about Redshift renderer? Redshift, it's really cool. Yeah, it's a really nice renderer. I've done a bunch of videos for them, a bunch of videos here in the site, and it's cool. It's amazing. You can use it. Again, it has its uses. Some people complain about some stuff. It doesn't have this, it doesn't have that, but it works really nice for me for really fast turnaround clients, because I just have 2 graphics cards and I just render everything really fast. So yeah, Redshift is really nice. If you haven't seen the videos we have on the channel about it, just go see them. And there's in the Redshift YouTube channel, there's actually 2 videos from me there as well, so you can see those if you want to get started with Redshift in Houdini. Alright, so are there any more questions? Because if not, I gotta get working. I have a bunch of work to do. I like these boxes. I like to see that. I think it makes my networks look more interesting. But I don't know. Alright guys, so I guess I'm gonna split because I do have work pending, but I wanted to do this. I didn't want to skip it. This was great to be with you guys. I'm really glad I didn't skip this hour with you guys. Again, I'm thankful. Thank you a lot because you guys are here talking to me and asking me all these questions, and I'm glad to help you guys as much as I can. So, but with that, I guess I'm gonna go because I should keep working and should be paying the bills, right? Also, I just bought. Not sure if you guys want to talk about that, but I just bought this Synology NAS, and some people will tell me like, "Oh, why do you want to do that?" Whatever. But it's important to get uh, like storage stuff for, let's say, for like me, I'm a freelancer, so I don't have the biggest storage of a studio, but I do have a lot of load of files. So if you guys want to talk about storage stuff and related things, or even gear, like if you want me to talk about workstations or monitors or keyboards or Wacom tablets or whatever, let me know, because we can maybe talk about that stuff as well, because those things are necessary to do our job as well. It's not Houdini, not only Houdini, it's all the stuff that comes uh, around to make this magic work, right? So it's cool. What kind of storage? I just bought a Synology NAS. It's a little box with you can put 4 drives in it, and it creates a RAID, and we could talk about all the details and how I have it configured and how I'm making backups and stuff like that. If you guys are interested in that, it I think it's very important to have your backups and be ready in the case of anything failing. So I don't know, but you might not be interested. Whatever. I do like it because it's I'm kind of protecting my work, right? So, all right, guys. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for spending these beautiful minutes with me. It's super hot here in my city today. Summer. It's killing us here. It's so hot, but we have to keep going, right? All right, guys. So, thank you again for being here. I really appreciate you guys being here, and let's keep learning together. Cool. Uh, right. I don't know how to turn the stream off. I never do. I always lose that freaking button. Salute, Sahak. Sahak. I sure. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Later, Chance. Thanks, Boost. Bye.